boundless blue of the Pacific, beyond where our maps end and science dares to tread, lies a secret older than memory. A vast continent swallowed by the sea, its mountain temples and towered cities now resting in eternal darkness. They called it Mu, the Motherland of Man. Its story is woven of myth, forbidden knowledge, and nightmares. Tonight, we tear back the veil on Mu's horror, not just a legend, but a nightmare waiting to be believed. Imagine, late one night in India a century ago, a British Army officer turned archaeologist sitting in a dim temple. This was James Churchward, and with him was an old Hindu priest who guarded clay tablets baked by the sun, covered in strange serpentine glyphs. Most of us would see gibberish, but Churchward studied them tirelessly and learned the language written on those tablets, a language long lost to history. What he found there changed everything he thought he knew. According to Churchward's translation, these forbidden tablets told of a civilization beyond imagination, the Naacal, a people who emerged 50,000 years ago, long before Egypt or Rome. They were mighty, a single world-spanning empire of 64 million souls, united under one government and one religion, worshipping a seven-headed serpent deity named Narayana. Imagine their cities, gleaming white marble temples, perfect geometries beyond our design, and streets lit by fountains of crystal light. Every corner of their empire pulsed with advanced technology and secrets beyond modern comprehension. Churchward even described great engines that ran on crystal power, towering machines that floated in the air, and other devices whose like we have only dreamed of. He said the Naacal believed they were spoken into existence by their gods, a notion that made the priest tremble as if uttering God's name. Churchward painted Mu as larger than any continent today, stretching from Hawaii to Easter Island, with endless fields and rivers the size of oceans. For centuries it ruled the Pacific, its influence reaching into Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Every symbol of sun, bird, and serpent in world myth, he insisted, could be traced back to Mu's one global culture. Ra, the sun god of Egypt, the Ra of Rapa Nui, the dragon gods of China. He claimed they were all names for Mu's own divine figures. Schools across Mu taught the ancient wisdom, science, and philosophy that the Naacal priests collected over millennia. But for all their brilliance, the Naacal had a fatal flaw. Churchward's translation revealed that as Mu reached its zenith, the earth itself turned on them. One night, in a single terrifying collapse, the ground exploded from below. The continent, held aloft by vast stores of volcanic gas, suddenly blew apart. In his words, the broken land fell into that great abyss of fire. Mountains crumbled, fields ignited, and lava thundered into the sea. In almost one night, Mu was utterly annihilated, crumbled, burned, and drowned in the ocean. Churchward said not a building remained intact by dawn. The Motherland of Man vanished into legend in an instant. A few of Mu's people supposedly escaped. Churchward claimed that on that fateful evening, a handful of Naacal priests and scholars fled by ship and crude raft. These survivors scattered to the four corners of the earth, carrying the last echoes of Mu. The story goes that the Maya of Yucatan chanted prayers about 7 gods, a memory of Naacal worship, and that the pharaohs of Egypt named their sun god after Mu's Ra. Stone carvers of Easter Island dug moai masks patterned on Mu's sculptures. In far-flung temples of India and jungles of Peru, elderly sages told half-forgotten legends of a sunken motherland. According to these tales, the very wisdom of Mu was carried with those refugees, seeding the roots of new civilizations. Churchward believed every pyramid and ancient pillar on the planet was a distant child of Mu's design. Long before Churchward's books appeared, intrepid souls had sniffed at the legend. In the 1870s, amateur scholar Augustus Le Plongeon dug among Mayan ruins and became convinced they hinted at Mu. He told a sensational story of Queen Mu fleeing Mu's collapse to found Egypt's dynasties, and of Mayan kings named after her lost kingdom. He even tried to tie this to Plato's Atlantis tale. These claims were quickly dismissed by scholars, but they captured the public's imagination. By the early 1900s, Mu had fused with other myths. Theosophists described Lemuria in the Indian Ocean as the cradle of humanity. Some even claimed to channel masters from Lemuria, essentially the same as Mu living in hidden underground cities. A Californian cult in the 1930s built a temple near Mount Shasta, insisting they were in telepathic contact with the survivors of Mu. People swore they saw 7-foot-tall Lemurians in white robes wandering forest glades. Adventure magazines and novels gleefully spun these yarns into fiction. Mu became a staple of pulp explorers and occultists alike. Meanwhile, real artifacts kept the debate alive. In 1921, geologist William Niven unearthed hundreds of dark andesite tablets in Mexico, carved with cryptic symbols. Churchward supporters hailed them as the genuine Naacal inscriptions, proof that Mu's scribes had once sailed to the Americas. To them, these markings were the final nail in Mu's coffin, undeniable evidence from Mu's own records, but scholars weren't convinced. Many claimed the tablets were either an indigenous script of no relation to Mu or an outright fraud. These stone tablets, later known as the Niven tablets after their discoverer, were discussed for decades in books and magazines, hailed by some as miraculous proof of Mu, and dismissed by others as the greatest hoax in archaeological history. Of course, mainstream science remained skeptical. Geologists scoff that a continent doesn't just vanish without leaving piles of rubble. Since the discovery of plate tectonics in the 1960s, we know the ocean crust is made of shifting basalt, not submerged platforms. Every sonar mapping and drilling project has revealed no sunken continent beneath the Pacific, only the expected seamounts and ridges. Islands like Easter and Hawaii are volcanic peaks, not drowned land bridges. Experts note that Churchward's glorious Mu left behind exactly 0 archaeological evidence. No ruins, no artifacts, no matched languages. They point out how a savvy man with a flair for storytelling could string together myths from around the world to make it all sound compelling. For the true believers, however, that denial only deepens the mystery. They argue the proof might be there, just hidden. Conspiracy theorists whisper of dusty archives in the Smithsonian or seafloor survey data locked in a Pentagon safe. Maybe the CIA secretly scanned the Challenger Deep and found anomalous structures that didn't match natural geology. Perhaps a billionaire treasure hunter once filmed a pyramid on the ocean floor and was paid off to bury it. Some even suggest that if any part of Mu was real, powerful secret societies and governments have kept it under wraps to prevent dangerous knowledge from emerging. They link Mu to every dark rumor, alien visitations, Nazi expeditions, shadowy global elites. For example, fringe bloggers have joked that Area 51 stands for Atlantis 51, implying some hidden base for ancient tech. Others say that descendants of Mu's priesthood went underground, forming secret orders that still influence modern culture. After all, history is full of ideas once dismissed as impossible until they became reality. Here we stand at the crossroads of myth and reality. Churchward left us only stories and scattered clues, no holy grail or smoking gun. No academic institute has decrypted a single Naacal tablet. No museum curator has exhibited a genuine Mu artifact. We are left with legends and imagination. Is Mu real, or a grand hoax stitched together from every lost continent tale ever told? The truth might be darker than either option. If Mu truly existed, perhaps some of its knowledge is forbidden. That's why we haven't found it. The ocean holds its secrets well, and Mu, the Motherland of Man, has become perhaps the darkest story of our past. Tonight, the waves whisper, but they speak in riddles. Some mysteries, after all, are meant to remain. Good night, and watch the horizon. Something ancient may still be waiting in the deep.